everybody, distinguished guests on the dais, Professor, sorry, I don't have the list. Okay. Sorry. Okay, thank you so much. So we have the Vice Chancellor from Bennett University, Professor Yaj, and Shrijit Mishra. Okay, these are not there?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, let me not waste time on this. So you have the name cards there, you can read it on your own. So distinguished guests on the dais and off the dais and friends. Today we are talking about world-class universities. And as I can see the topic, in legal and business education. So we have three keywords here. World-class universities, legal and business education. I will talk more on world-class universities and leave the legal and business education part to these people. I would like to quote somebody here. Somebody said, Mr. Althech, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He said about world-class universities, everyone wants one. No one knows what it is, and no one knows how to get one. So this is the status of world-class education, world-class perspective, or world-class education as we talk about. There are so many systems of rankings that we see, national, international. They use a large number of criteria to rank the universities. And there are sector-specific rankings, plus there are general rankings. And sometimes the rankings of one system or one organization, they differ from the other organization to a large extent. So a student is always confused. Where should I go? Where does my future lies the best? Why we are talking about world-class universities? Unfortunately, how a student perceives a university is in terms of placement, mostly. Students need an institution through which they can climb the ladders of their career. Am I right? Am I right? Okay. So this is how the students see the institutions. But when we consider the whole thing from a world-class perspective, this thing doesn't boil down to job only. We're making you eligible for a job. That's not the only thing that a university does. And that's not the only thing that education imparts. The problem is that parents want such institutions, students want such institutions. So when the demand side is like this, the supply side also would become like this. They have to match the supply side. So what you get is what you deserve. I'm being very blunt here. What you get is what you deserve. There is a demand for something that is satisfied by the institutions. How many students are actually looking for research? How many students are looking for excelling in education, excelling in academics, doing it the hard way, doing it the longer way, but a better way? We are not. Our main emphasis is, I often quote it, I don't know if somebody has heard me before on this, so pardon me for that. But the first time, I have heard from my parents, and of course, they told my brothers, of course. They never told me because for a girl, it's like, कुछ नहीं करोगे तो फिर शादी कर देंगे तुम्हारी. And for the boy, and I have also told it to my elder son. My younger son, I don't tell it because now I'm more mature, more evolved. So I know a lot of things in the sense that with age you grow, with experience you grow. But it's a common cliche. पढ़ोगे नहीं तो फिर बनिए की दुकान लगाओगे, पढ़ोगे नहीं तो पान का गल्ला लगाओगे, है ना? यही सब सुनने को मिलता है. We all hear this. And why we all hear this? Because job is connected to education. So nobody talks of entrepreneurship, nobody talks of innovation, nobody talks of creating something out of education. And that's where our bringing up takes us to a point where we enter into a cutthroat competition. If you are from science institutions and engineering institutions, you would have done it, and writing all the exams, practicing, and doing one sum at least 10 times, so that when it comes in the paper, you know what it is, and you can solve it fast. That's what big, and cutthroat competition to the extent that I'm not going to tell what I know to my, even the best friend. This is what we inculcate amongst the students. But education thrives on teamwork. Success thrives on teamwork. Careers thrive on teamwork. Everything, as you realize later in life, that everything thrives on teamwork. But our education system does not teach this. We do not teach much of group activity and excelling through group activity. We teach excelling through half mark भी मेरा ज़्यादा आ जाएगा तो मैं first आ जाऊँगा और उसका second mark. Because I know this, because I have been a topper all through. I've been a gold medalist all through. So I know what the feeling is. So I know that you have to work hard, and you have to work hard so much that you get to the top. So that feeling, and you don't even show your notes to others. If some student wants, and if that person is second or third, no, never. How can you even see my notes? So in that, the team spirit that gets lost. And somewhere we lose the focus in education. So the first thing that we have to understand is why we are looking at the world-class perspectives. We really want the world-class perspectives? If yes, then we have to work towards them. My question is now second one. Why should you not want world-class perspectives? Because the world is getting flatter and flatter, smaller and smaller, closely knit. Now, most of you would be on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and you would be having friends across the countries. Most of you have friends, international friends, whether you've visited abroad or not. So the world is becoming like a family. When the world is becoming like a family, you have to have an education that serves a world-class perspective. You cannot remain satisfied with any education that satisfies your parents' requirements or your own requirements of getting a package of certain amount or getting a livelihood or whatever, what have you in mind. That's not enough. Because when you will be comparing yourself to students that will be there in other institutions in the other part of the world, you will find yourself at a loss. And that's what happens when students from here go as graduate students abroad. Initially, for 1 month, you don't understand what's happening. The pressures are huge. You cry and cry. Where have I come? Why have I come? I'm wasting my time. Is this what I wanted? You cry and cry because so much workload. They give for one topic to teach, they give 150 pages to read. Where do you get time to read? Today I read 150 pages of one session, 150 pages of another session. Now I got for the next day 150 pages for another session, 150 pages for another session. How do I read that much? How do I cope up? So initially, but later on, you adjust to that system. So that's a pressure that we face. Why can we not rise to that? We have to think on that. We have to ponder on that. There was a World Bank study that said that there are 4 constituents of a world-class university. That is, one is a concentration of talent. That is, they have a critical mass of top students and outstanding faculty. So they are very careful in selecting their students, and they do not select anything but the best. And best in terms of not only the marks, but in terms of various skill requirements and attitudinal requirements for the particular course they would be studying, and also the leadership qualities. Plus outstanding faculty. This faculty also has to be world class. So what does faculty need to do become world class? Now, we are working in an environment where most of the faculty, they'll only look at the number of teaching hours they have to cater to. Okay, these many hours I have to teach, rest of the time, what they do, what they not do, they don't want to be asked. Similarly, students are equally to be blamed. For those 8 hours or 7 hours of classroom that they have to study, they don't want to add on more. They don't want to stretch it. They don't want to stretch the boundaries, stretch it. So they don't want to go beyond what is required. It's a very common thing that I always feel, even as a parent. The first thing that, really puts me off and irritates me when I am teaching something to my child and he says, "Bhai, ye aanega nahi exam mein." I just pull my hair. I said, please get off this. Exam mein nahi aayega to nahi padhna hai. Study for the purpose of knowing, not for the purpose of exam. So students also have to get out of. Then you become world-class students, world-class faculty, world-class student. World-class curricula is not just enough. World-class student, faculty, world-class pedagogy, the ways of teaching. You have come from a system where you have traditionally done the lecture method, notebook writing. Suddenly you're put into a system where there's all that is project work, case studies, application and all. You won't be able to cope. So Indian universities, most of the time, they try to continue that system so that it's easier for the students. So there are challenges on both the sides. Faculty, again, there are big issues. Do we have the space for the faculty to give them the kind of recognition that they get elsewhere? Do they get the space for the research work? Are their works recognized? Do they get paid that well? Private institutions, we have always heard that there is an issue of faculty being underpaid. So those issues are also there. Another thing is resource abundance. That they should have enough resources at their disposal. Fortunately, in India, we have a large number of institutions coming up now that have abundant resources. And resources get linked to the performance. The better you perform, the more resources you get. The more resources you get, the better you perform. The better you perform, so it's like a cycle. The third is appropriate governance. So this is one of the most important issues, the regulatory framework that is there. Now, mostly in private universities, they are universities on their own. They don't have much regulation. So many of them are doing very well. And they have academic autonomy, they have managerial autonomy, they have financial autonomy. Some of them are even tying up with the foreign universities. But they have to thrive in a very competitive environment, and they have to ensure that they make their academic work productive and useful to the society. So there's one thing, flexibility in syllabus. So when I am interacting with various universities, I see very few universities using this concept of flexibility in syllabi. They claim that their syllabus is dynamic, and they keep on changing their syllabus every year. But still, we need to have a very flexible approach, interdisciplinary approach, which is still, it is coming up very slightly now. And now even IITs and other institutions have taken up that they offer courses in other disciplines. So that is also very essential. The most important thing, that these three are equally balanced. So when there is alignment of these three, then only the world-class university takes place. With just one thing there and the other two missing, world-class university will not take place. For world-class university, for world-class institution to take place, there should be an alignment between these three things. You may be having ample resources, but you don't have any research quality. You don't have any research focus. You don't have good, you may be hiring good faculty, but you don't have good students. You're not able to attract good students. So all this matters a lot. I'll just read out one thing. The highest ranked universities are the ones that make significant contribution to the advancement of knowledge through research. Teach with the most innovative curricula and pedagogical methods. Under the most conducive circumstances, make research an integral component of undergraduate teaching. This is very important. And produce graduates who stand out because of their success in intensively competitive arenas during their education, and more importantly, after graduation. Here, when we talk of, so this is a very typical problem that we are facing, that when we talk of research, and even when I'm talking to many educationists, research, mostly it's said that research to postgraduate students ke liye hai. Research is not same as PhD. Research, PhD is just a system of giving you a degree of doctorate. Research is something else that you can do from the age of class 1. And in your own way, searching and researching. So that's research. So research is when you want to go deeper into a subject, want to answer questions that emerge in your mind and create something new out of it. Every child, from the time that child is born, has this inbuilt capacity of wanting to know more and more, wanting to satisfy the anxiety and curiosity, and wanting to create something out of it. You may have seen several children breaking their toys. Their parents say, "Bada shaitan bachcha hai, to sab cheez tod ke phenk deta hai." It's not that. It should not be discouraged. It is the curiosity of the child that is making him break it to find out what is inside. So once you discourage that, you kyun tod diya, kyun khola, crushing that researching tendency. So, but so many things are there. You make a deviation from your answer in the question paper. Your teacher becomes unhappy. Ye kyun likha? Ye thoda hi likhna tha. Ye iska reply. Now you convince her so many times that, "Madam, ये ऐसे भी हो सकता है." नहीं, ऐसे नहीं है, तुम ऐसा करो, ऐसा ही लिखो, तभी एग्जाम में मार्क्स मिलेगा. There it starts. And it goes till the college level. See, tertiary education plays a very important role. Of course, they say a lot of damage takes place, basic damage takes place at the level of the primary, secondary, primary and middle class. But then middle school. But tertiary education plays a very important role. It's like that. I always say that if you compare the whole thing with a lump of clay. So the primary and middle education, middle school or secondary school, middle school basically, primary and middle school, what they do is they are just making a pot out of that clay. So whether that pot is shapely, whether that pot is beautiful, shapely and it is useful, it is not broken, it is not cracked, all these things are done at the level of the primary and middle school. But at the level of the tertiary level, where you talk the higher education level, at that level, after that pot is ready, you will sell it in the market at what price? 10 rupees, 15 rupees. Okay. But after that pot is ready, the kind of work that goes on that pot, you may cover it with ceramic, you may paint it with gold, you may paint it with something, you may make a beautiful creation out of it. You may even cover the faults that are there through your creation in the tertiary education. That's where the value gets added. And that 15 rupees pot gets converted to 1500 rupees sales in the market. So that value addition comes from the higher education. So never undervalue it. कि जो damage था वो तो हो गया, अब हम क्या कर सकते हैं? नहीं, never. So we have to consider that now we cannot live in a setup where we think of our limited requirements of our economy. Even our economy, how many jobs can be there? Now with the, our policy is your Startup India, Digital India, and our own student startup policy. We're talking of job creation. Become job creators. Create jobs for others. Everyone cannot be seeking jobs. If everybody is seeking jobs, who creates the jobs? Government. There have to be job creators. You become one. Focus on ideas. Focus on your innovations. Focus on entrepreneurship. You may have some failures in the beginning. Don't get disappointed by that. That's just a learning phase. Start early so that you learn early. If you start late, much of the time is lost. So if you start early in this thing, then you get enough time, that the teething time is there. So you can withstand failures to a large extent. Focus more on cross-cutting ideas. Focus more on asking why. Asking why. Why am I doing it? Most of our teaching is on what and how. What is to be done and how it is to be done. Why is missing. And when the student tries to think on why, teacher says, "अरे छोड़ो ना, तुम्हें क्या पढ़ा है, इसमें करो इसको ये." उसे खुद को नहीं आता है. But don't stop there. As a student, don't stop there. And even as a faculty, don't discourage your children if they're doing it, your students if they're doing it. Encourage them. Work with them to find out why. Why are you doing things in this manner? Why this podium should be like this only? Why not there? Why not here? You have a right to, and that's where the cross-cutting perspective, the lateral thinking, the out-of-box thinking comes. And that's what makes into creation of the newer perspectives, that adds newer perspectives, the newer dimensions to your life, newer dimensions to your education, where you do not remain confined to a textbook. Textbook, initially, I want to tell this. Initially, when I came to this state in 91, and I was a probationer, and in my neighborhood there was a 10th class student studying for board's exam, studying out of a key. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "नहीं, यहाँ तो सब बच्चे की पढ़ के एग्जाम देते हैं." I said, "What? We never saw a key, and हमारे यहाँ तो जो फेल होने वाले बच्चे हैं वो की पढ़ते हैं." But now things are not like that. Now I don't see that kind of a mentality, fortunately. So things have improved, and things have improved a lot, and we have a lot of hope, and brighter and newer ideas and emerging, newer paradigms are emerging. So we have a long way to go, and it's heartening to note that we are moving ahead, and we are coming up in a very big way. So think beyond your textbooks. Do not remain confined to your textbook. Think beyond that. ये मत सोचो कि इसको पढ़ के क्या नतीजा निकलने वाला है. Read for the purpose of reading. If you don't read, you cannot write. For writing, reading is essential. That's another mistake that teachers do. For writing, they make them practice writing. Do not make them practice writing for writing. Make them practice reading. They will write automatically. Writing gets improved by reading, not by writing. This विचारों का जो मंथन होता है अंदर, वो जब तक ideas नहीं आएंगे, that's what the role reading plays. You get so many ideas and your mind processes them and then comes up with something new. So keep on doing that. Be aware of your environment. That's what world is all about. When you talk of world, it's like you think of the world. Don't think of India. Don't think of Gujarat. Don't think of Ahmedabad. Don't think of satellite. Don't think of particular area. यहाँ तो ऐसा है वो अपनी local locality के beyond सोचता ही नहीं है. Don't think of that. Think beyond. Even beyond the earth, universe. Now people are thinking of going beyond. So these are some of my thoughts which I thought I would share with you. Thank you so much and for patience listening. Thanks.